Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. And most importantly, happy National Women Chiropractors Day. I'm super pumped that I get to be sharing today with lots of my chiropractic sisters from around the world, not just our, um, our country, but around the world. I got to start last night with Dr. Lucy Clary, who is in Australia. This lady dealt with, a year ago when all of the media blitz hit about chiropractors not being able to adjust children in Australia. And then it went right into wildfires. And then her son passed away. And then COVID. And then she moved her practice. And it's like, man, resiliency is just such an important muscle to grow. And this lady right here is an epitome of resiliency. So, Dr. Devin, thanks so much for joining me this morning.
Oh, thank you for having me. What a way to start the day for me. I know it's way earlier for you, but I'm honored. And shout out to all of our sisters.
Yeah, absolutely. And so here's what we're doing today. We're getting together because we're all important. We're getting together to encourage one another. It goes without saying, it's been an interesting 2020 already. And one thing that I've really learned going into this is I'm so thankful for number one, my tribe. And the closeness that we have of bonding together. As soon as COVID hit, we started meeting at 6 o'clock my time, in the morning, and just like kind of having a powwow of like, how you doing this morning and what's going on, and just that importance of reaching out. And I think that's really what a sign of strength is reaching out and asking for help. I encourage those of you who are still reeling from COVID, which is totally fine, to check out a book called Stillness is the Key. My coach suggested it to me. And have you read that one?
I haven't. It's on my list. You're the third person, so that means I
Oh,
gotta go.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, that is not a title that I would normally like
Right.
pick up at all. Right. Because, we're like, where's the
All,
obstacle? Right.
all the more reason we probably need it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And at any rate, he made a really good point yesterday, and I put it up on Facebook of those who go alone are the ones who are ravished. They're the ones that like that get taken down. I was thinking about it because my husband and I are boaters, and a couple of 4th of Julys ago, we got stuck about 52 miles offshore in a terrible storm, and we were coming out and it was going to get worse. And so it was kind of like, this was like we got to go for it. And when, over the phone, we hear our friend Devin in his big boat, and he's like, you know what, just follow me in. And it was just like, thank you, Lord, because we didn't choose to go it alone, and then as we were kind of going, we'd see more boats following us. And so I want to talk today about, Devin, what have been the keys that you've encouraged your practice members with, and your kids with, and your team with during this time of just unrest and tension and uncertainty?
Yeah, there's definitely the call to get grounded, right?
Mm.
When emotion rises, when challenge sets in, basic human nature to survive is to react.
Yeah.
We've got to buck up, and so, as a mom, wife, and chiropractor, it's all about, learning to root yourself no matter what the storm is. And, one of my good friends, Dr. Denisa Weber's husband, he's always saying, how you do one thing is how you do all things. And so, yes, these are new challenges. And yet I think it just exposes who we already are and what our natural tendencies are. And so I just reminding people, like, we get a choice in how we respond to all of this. There's
Mm-hmm.
a lot we don't know. So do your best to just keep your feet on the ground and watch, listen, then move.
Yes. No, that is such great advice in all things. Like, even think about parenting, right?
Oh,
Like, your kid falls down. Oh, no, it's
right,
like,
right.
all right, you're good. Like, dust
And
off and keep going, little G,
exactly. And my kids are at all different at stages of that game. If I react too soon for the 3-year-old, I put my fear or my emotion onto them, and it escalates too quickly. Whereas if I give them a second to get back up, with my 9-year-olds, if I course correct them too much, I take away their ability to adapt. And then with my 15-year-old, again, it's like if you like jump in too fast, you take away the opportunity for people to rise. And I think, it's taken, these last few weeks have been insane, but overall, I would say we're rising, right?
Yes.
I feel the momentum's going up, not down.
Yes.
So
I agree with you. And I think it's been awesome to see communities really coming together. And I love all of the displays of one of my clients, her son, it's his, like, this was the junior year of high school. This was like the spring where he was really just going to kill it for where he like kind of stood his senior year, right? And he's a phenomenal violinist. And so he had just kind of been really down and, didn't really want to come out of his room and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, let's get him involved in pouring back into the lives of others. My parents always taught me, if you're like sad, start serving, start serving those who really need you. So at any rate, she challenged him to put a concert together for Memorial Day. And sure enough, he rose to the challenge. They had a concert in their backyard. He brought in other kids from school who were doing kind of the same thing. And what just an amazing way to show like strength and to honor other people. And so I'm calling all of us today to let's honor each other. Let's I know there are lots of things that we don't agree on, but I know this, we agree on a lot more than we disagree on.
And being okay that we do disagree, because that it's exposing probably where some of the lessons are. Yesterday my sister and I have side-by-side practices, and we got together a group of moms, and we just sat in circle and listened. Like, how are you? I mean, how are you is such a loaded question right now. But listening to there was a lot of similarities and yet there was a lot of differences. And then at lunch, my husband and I went to a group to talk about racial tension and everything that's going on and where we go from here. And it was, all different races, genders, and backgrounds sharing. No two people in that room were seeing and feeling the world the same way. And so, I just firmly believe that if God, is in this 2020 mix of things right now, he must want our attention, right? You get the whole world on one focus. There must be something we're supposed to be learning and adapting. And so having those conversations in community is so powerful because it allows you to expand your awareness.
I love that. And so what is his unity for all of us, right? Is love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. And
it doesn't say love thy neighbor as yourself as long as they agree with you.
Right.
There's no conditional terms. It just is love thy neighbor.
Right.
And it is. And so again, when you get to grounding, it's like, stay there. If you're going to root in something, goodness, root in that.
Yeah.
It'll never steer you wrong.
Yep. We find what we're looking for, right? We always think of beer goggles, right? Like if you put on beer goggles, the world is going to look differently. If you put on love goggles, the world is going to look differently. And one thing I love, hey, there's Megan.
Hi.
And I just want to give a shout out Megan and Alba. I'm sorry, I'm not awesome with names, but thank you so much for joining us from the Netherlands. Woo woo. And Nat, my girl in Jersey, Charity, we love you. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Paula. And Tiffany says, love and miss you, Devin. So thanks for joining us. Have you read the book or listened to the book by Mel Robbins called Take Control of Your Life?
I haven't read it, but I'm very familiar with her and the concept. Yeah.
So, one thing that we've been talking about in the boot camp a lot is triggers, right? So you have a trigger and then a physiological change and then thoughts, actions, and consequences. And I'm convinced we're all just triggering each other. And when you get triggered, it's a personal experience right then.
Right.
And so I just want to encourage all of you to, like, if somebody lashes out to you, please recognize that it's not you. Like,
Right.
something happened that they got triggered, just like subluxation, right? Subluxation then changes nerve function. And then
Right.
all of these other things, cascades happen. So Devin, let me ask you
Yeah.
this. Go ahead.
Well, and with that too, one of the things that I was talking about in the group yesterday is I agree with the front side of what you said, the four agreements, right? It's not personal, right? So as someone may lash out or you're seeing something that the momentum coming this way isn't you, but the momentum going that way is you. And so if you get this rise of anger, Tony Robbins talks about, we all have an emotional home. And so some of us, our emotional home is anger. Some of our, emotional home, like where we go when we're triggered, when we're put in a situation of stress, it might be sadness, it might be fear, it might be retreat. And so, yes, don't take it personal what's coming this way, but man, oh man, lean into and begin to understand yourself of where those rises of emotion, come from and what's bringing that up for you, because that's, I think, where we're going to find our personal transformations in all of this
Mm-hmm.
is understanding, gosh, why am I so angry? Gosh, why am I
Yes.
so fearful? Where's that coming from? I mean, fear, anger, sadness are really, I think, probably the three foundational that most people are dealing with in a sense. And so yes, be patient, kind with everyone, including yourself, but watch those things as they come up in you and get to
Yes.
know them.
Yes. Get to know, lean in and
Mm.
feel it out. I watched my husband just had to leave for work for a little while, and I've never binge watched a show by myself, but somehow I got on a show called Sweet Magnolias.
Mm.
And it's really, I just sat there sobbing. And at first I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And I was just getting triggered by different things. And I just leaned in, like you were talking about, and took inventory of, wow, like I hadn't, like, that stuff is old. I'm shocked that I'm
Yeah.
getting triggered. And so I think, like, this time, whether it's COVID or just the additional unrest, we're getting triggered. So please take this time to know thyself. And one of the questions actually that I had, Devin, that you just brought up, that I wanted to ask, how how do you handle when there's unrest in your
Mm.
home? What is your family's, like, what are the mantras, or what are the because sometimes it's easy to get in patterns. I think especially when we're raising young kids, it's easy for us to just get into patterns. And so let's give mama some tools today
Yeah.
of what to do when it's just like it's that fury. Like,
Right. Yeah. So I've got 5 kids, twin 3-year-olds, twin 9-year-olds, and a 15-year-old, and then my husband, right? So there's 7 of us. We about broke the 10-person stay home rule just in our pack, right? There's a lot of emotions. My boys were, going into state wrestling, and the state wrestling tournament got canceled. So there's a lot of, like, they're carrying a lot of emotion. They're taken out of school. They miss their friends. They're out of their routines. The 3-year-olds now have everybody home with them, and there's just it's a lot of on top of each other time. Then you have my husband and I. We were blessed enough to be essential through all of this, so we're in the office but bringing home a lot of emotion with us. And
yeah.
so we would get home. For my family, I would say one of the biggest gifts out of all of this, I could say a lot of things, but the two things that we have been consistently really good at is, let's just get to the dinner table and let the
Nice.
busy settle. And we ask the same
Mm.
question, what's your favorite part of today? And
Yeah.
just like, and then as you pass that 7 ways, and it's hilarious to listen to the 3-year-olds who say unicorns and dinosaurs and Spider-Man and things like
Mm.
that, it just restores you back to ease, right? So where the system may have been this, gratitude just always puts you back there. There were some days that were not that easy. And it was like, and if you could feel that tension, we would do a workout. So with smart TVs now, you can put YouTube up on the big screen, and we would just pull up like a 20-minute high interval, body weight workout. And all 7 of us would spread out and do the workout together. So we're doing squats within 2 minutes, no more than
Yeah.
2 minutes, because we know this, right? As we change our physiology, our emotions settle down. So where my husband and I may have come home and been like, rah, the second we would move our body, we took a bike ride and got through in this, the other night where it was like we were not agreeing from here, or really even here. And so we had to get our bodies in motion to get some of that cobwebby stuff out. And the second our family gets in motion and our blood's
Yeah.
pumping, then it's like life's just fun again. And again, here,
Yes.
here I am in this workout, and it's like I'm looking around. I have 5 vibrant, healthy children. I
Yes.
have I have a man taking care of the planet. All of us get the big idea, live the big idea, know the power that makes the body heal. I mean, I'm looking, going, we are so blessed. I have zero reason outside of this room, like yeah, and be here now.
Yeah.
And so those two things for us of like, what's your favorite part of today, and doing a family or a couple workout has been completely transformational.
Absolutely. I firmly agree with you. And I want to encourage all of you, when prepare now, right? Because the storm, whether it's in practice or it's at home, it's going to hit, COVID or not. It's just,
Right.
it's part of life, right? And
I've got a visitor. I can hear you. Keep talking.
okay. I think it's just so important to have a game plan of when things escalate, what happens. And it's summertime. Everyone, like, your game plan can be like, let's just get outside and run to, oh, I'm gonna be a grandma, next month. So thank
Congratulations.
you. Yeah, our first grandson, Ezekiel, is due on our son and Libby's second wedding anniversary. And I cannot wait for those. And for the day that they're like, Mom, can you just come and help? Yep, I'll take him. Oh, she's so
This
precious.
is this is my sweet magnolia.
Hi, sweet Magnolia. It's early, huh? She's like,
We had a swim party last night with her brother, so she was up chasing frogs and swimming last night. So I think she's extra extra tired.
oh yeah. Well, that's the best place to be, right there, is on Mama's
Right.
lap. There's
My
nothing
little
like it.
future female chiropractor right here, you know?
Right on. I love that. We'll hold space for you, sweetheart. And
Yep.
we'll step out and you step in for sure.
Mhm.
Hey, look at, there's Mary joining us from California. Welcome, Mary. So all of you, please, today, when you're not in the turmoil, create your game plan. I have to give my husband tons of credit for when we were raising teenagers got tough. He'd be like, let's go for a drive. I'm like, that's a really good idea. Let's go for a
Yeah.
drive. Let's go look at something else. Let's change our scenery and know that you don't have to stay in and do the
Well,
stress.
our joke is change the channel, right? So like
Yeah.
if this is a TV show, and you're like, you don't like what you're watching, you change the channel. And so
Yeah.
we're like, if somebody's in a mood, and like eventually the smile will crack, and so as a family, it's like, we need to change the channel. Let's do something different.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. 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 Change the channel. So mantras.
mhm.
Is that one of your family mantras? Change the
Yeah,
channel. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
So for those of you who are watching right now, throw in, what are your mantras, and let's all just help each other out. Like, I think that one from Devin's family is one we could all adopt. Change the channel.
Mhm.
You know, our mantra, I love, like, let's love first.
Yeah.
Let's love first. Like, on the other side of this, we're all still going to be together.
Yep.
So what can we do in this very moment to bring about peace? So
Well, oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, the Joey and I really from the start of our relationship, we've always been like, if you want it, go get it. And so that's come up a lot, I mean, consistently, we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary. So like that's been,
Congratulations.
that's been a theme really of our entire relationship. In that we didn't really ever want to support each other in whining, or complaining. And it's like, if you want it, go get it. And we were talking about that yesterday, where it's like, be it about, the health things going on, be it about vaccines, be it about this just state of the world or racism. It's like taking the responsibility of like, if you want it, go get it. Like we
Mm.
can't be here sitting on the sidelines complaining. And now more than ever, I guess my little shout out to chiropractors, female chiropractors, is it's time for us to like really get in the game and step in to our authentic expressions and say, I can help you. I mean, the world that I don't think there's ever been an opportunity like this for chiropractic,
Mm-hmm.
because we can restore so much ease to people's nervous systems, to our communities, to our families, and provide a new way of living for the
Yep.
future. And
Yep.
so, gotta get in there.
Yep. And leadership, man, it is, if you have been on the sidelines, like get on the field. I've
Yep.
been saying this since COVID started. Like there are two ways that you can go through this. You can be in the stands and you can cheer. Hi, baby girl. You can cheer and you can boo and really not impact the outcome. Or you can get on the field and get some grass stains and take a couple hits and hit, like put on some
Right.
hits and be part of the solution. And so
Mhm.
it's time for all of us to engage. And please know this, you are of value, you are of worth. I don't care if you're just getting started or you're at the end. What
Right.
you say and the energy and the love that you bring to your community, it matters. It matters
Yeah.
big, big, big time. And I understand that sometimes it's tough to get one foot in front of the other. I posted some pictures of a hike we took the other day. And I literally so this is the planning, right? I told
Mhm.
myself before I go, when I say, man, this is tough, I got to give 10 more steps. Like my
Mhm.
trigger was when it's hard, go harder. Mary says step up or step down. And so I had a plan, and you know what? Like I kicked butt going up that hill better than I
Yeah.
normally do. And
Yeah.
we brought a shortcut down that was
Well,
brutal, and it was the same thing. It was like, you got this. Like it go
yeah.
hard
And
doesn't mean retreat.
no, and it's like you look at the bodybuilders, right? I Arnold Schwarzenegger, they would ask him like, how many curls do you do? How many push-ups do you do? And he's like, I don't know, I don't start counting until it hurts. Because it's
Amen.
when you hit that point of pain, that's where the muscle gains happen. And so I have heard countless people this week say, I'm just done with Facebook. I'm done with social media. And I get it. I get it. It's like I can't take one more thing, especially, where
Thank you.
moms have been helping like parents, but moms, balancing wife, mom, homeschooling, work, being able to look your family in the face and say everything's okay. And so I get it. I mean, people are tired, they're aching, they're
Mhm.
scared, and we're hitting that point of resistance. But it's like this is when we put in a few more reps, and it's when the big
Yeah.
muscles in all of this are going to happen. And so,
Yes.
I'm holding big space. I'm saying lots of prayers. I don't discount any of the pain and struggle. And I am more hopeful for humanity than I have ever been in my life, because it's
Yes.
all on the table now. And now it's up to us. And now we get to
Mhm.
decide. And now we're all connected in this thing. And so, yes, it might feel some days like you need to retreat and take a couple hours or take a day of social media break. But then chiropractors, get your butt back out there, because it's not about you. You have duty and obligation to raise your voice and show up for your people. And whether you're doing that on social media or you're sending out text messages to your people or whatever you do not retreat. Lean
Mhm.
in, lean
Yeah.
in.
And it's kind of like, I think of it like a hockey line, right? So professional hockey team, they're changing their line every 45 seconds. But
Mhm.
when it's your time on the ice, you get in there and you go as hard as you can. And I said this the other day, like it's okay to retreat, but
Mhm.
have a plan of how you're going to restore in the
Mhm.
treat, because when you retreat, I'm going harder, and I need you to tag me and give me a chance to
Right.
step back and recharge and retreat and regroup so I can get back in. So if
Yeah.
this is your 45-second tag out, no problem, but don't
Mhm.
waste the retreat.
Right.
please build back up. And it's the same thing, you know, mom and dads have to do it with when you're
Right.
raising little kids. Like there has got to be all right, Joey, you're in, buddy. Like
Yep.
I
Yep.
need 30.
Yep.
And there's nothing weak in that. It means I'm going to restore so I can bring it.
Yep.
And I have a link going across the bottom, and I just wanted to share it with all of you. I created it this week because I recognize there's some that are really struggling just to take that next step. Like, I know, Barb, there's lots of things I should be doing right now, and I just can't even take that next step. Or I get all fired up from Monday, and then Monday afternoon hits and I'm done. So here's
Yeah.
a gift I'm giving to everyone. We're kind of kicking it off today, and I'll send you a daily email for 30 days, and it's one action step. None of them ever take more than 7 minutes. They're all probably things you've already been doing, and it's just a reminder of, we got this. Like, we're in it. We're in this game called life,
Yeah.
and we're in it to win it together. And the days that are hard, like Devin said, crank out a couple more reps, because that's when the muscle is going to grow. And I encourage all of you, when you tell yourself or you hear it's hard, like, fire up and be like, right on, like, this is when I shine.
Yeah.
So as we wrap this up, what final words do you want to leave with our Chiro sisters and our Chiro brothers today?
Yeah. I mean, it's a fascinating and exciting time to be a human being, right? And
Mhm.
so make sure that when you're outside of the office, you're nurturing what you need as a human, as a woman, as a man. Make sure that you're staying grounded, getting in nature, going to your source. And then when you're in the office, um, be there, be all there, and create a space. You know, we got like a $40 bubble machine, and we set it up at the front door. We painted, really happy, like shine your light, love one another, be kind on our windows. And then as people walk in, they get bubbles before they walk through the door, so they get an adjustment before they walk in, right? And
Yeah.
the girls are in their smiles. And um you know it's not that I won't talk about the current state of affairs, but do your best to talk about life beyond it.
Yeah.
And take a second to talk about, like we mentioned earlier, anger, fear, sadness, this momentum. People have to have a space to know, like, those emotions creating disease in our system can create disease later. And so all the more we've got to get adjusted right now. And so chiropractors, get your hearts and hands to work.
Yeah.
Raise your voices, lead your teams. Chiropractic assistants, I mean, if I could give just a huge shout out to the CAs that keep things moving in
Yeah.
our world.
Mm-hmm.
And like, again, I think this is going to be a year that we look back and go, wow, that was when we stepped in and showed the world what life could look like.
Yeah.
So
Amen. I agree to that. And just, and I think it's so important in our practices to model. And I love what you just said. Like, we can have that conversation in our practices, but what if we have a different conversation in our practices? And what if it's, you know what, Devin, like, I know you're hurting, and that's why once a week, what we're doing is we're getting together in our practice at whatever, 7:00 on Monday night, just to hold space for one another and to share. Would it be okay if we have this conversation together then? And right now, can I give you just a couple of techniques that I've been sharing with other practice members to just like cleanse when you're not in the office, just to cleanse and to be grounded and to just like breathe through all of this? Would that be okay? And then you're honoring and letting them know, like, we'll have that conversation here, but really working to be a different place, a different space in their life, and to really use that opportunity to help them out. Hey, there's Patty. Patty, thanks for joining us today. So all of you, thank you so much. Devin, thanks so much to all of you. Like, this is Devin and I got on today, and we're like, I feel like we know each other, but we've never
yeah,
had like a personal conversation. So this is going to continue. I can promise all of you. And I'm asking that you do your part today by just sharing. You know, some Chiro sisters that Devin and I don't know, but your friends need to hear this message today. So if you would just click share, and that's a way in which we're asking you to lean in with us today. And if you want those 30 steps, there's no strings, there's no fee. It's just my give to you. It'll pop into your mail every morning. And it's a really simple step. So Devin, thank you so much. Give your babies a hug for me today.
I will.
And get
I will. Well, ladies and chiropractic gentlemen, if y'all need anything, give me a shout. The answer is always no if you don't ask. So reach out if you need love or assistance in any way.
Amen. All right.
Barbara, shine that light all day today.
All right. You too, sister. Bye, everyone.
Bye.